join together and give it a try. I'm gonna learn while having fun and share what I've learned when the day is done.
Welcome back to Touch Tank Tuesday. I'm Bonnie, and I work with the North Carolina Coastal Federation to protect and restore our coast. In our last episode, we took a field trip to Morris Landing Clean Water Preserve to learn about living shorelines. In this episode, we're back at our office in Wrightsville Beach to learn about some of the ways we maintain clean water. If you've been to Touch Tank Tuesday before, then I'm sure you recognize our office. But did you ever look around the office to see how we capture rainwater? We do this to prevent stormwater runoff. While there are many factors that contribute to poor water quality, stormwater runoff is one of the largest water pollution problems facing our coast. The hardened surfaces, such as parking lots, rooftops, and driveways, prevent rain from soaking into the ground, and instead run off into our waterways, carrying oil, bacteria, pet waste, and debris. But an easy way to prevent this is to allow the rain to soak into the ground. Rain gardens are a great way to capture excess rainwater. The soil and plants will help absorb and filter the pollutants, allowing clean water to recharge our groundwater systems. We've rerouted our downspouts into 3 rain gardens filled with native plants that require little maintenance and no pesticides or fertilizers. We rerouted our downspouts into rain barrels and an 1,100-gallon cistern that we use to store rainwater that we'll use at a later time to water plants or wash our vehicles and boat. Overflow from our cistern goes into a habitat garden representing the intertidal zone and highlighting the importance of wetlands. Wetlands are nature's solution to stormwater runoff. They act like sponges, soaking up the excess water and filtering out pollutants. We understand the need for hardened surfaces, so we installed pervious concrete in the front of our office and different types of permeable pavement into our walkways and driveways, allowing us to have nice, stable surfaces that rain can soak through. Even the property surrounding our office holds large amounts of excess rainwater, allowing it to slowly soak back into the land. Walk the loop when you're in Wrightsville Beach, or check out the link below to see the different techniques we used to divert stormwater runoff from flowing into the intercoastal waterway. From preventing the stormwater from entering our waterways, we're able to protect the home of all our favorite Touch Tank Tuesday friends, like this female stone crab that is depending on us to keep these waters healthy and clean for the 1 million babies she's carrying in her sponge. These baby stone crabs will stay in the estuary, where they can easily hide between a rock or an oyster until they can better defend themselves against their many predators. And how about the Atlantic purple sea urchin that uses its spines to catch whatever's floating by? The spines move the food right to the sea urchin's mouth. It will use its sharp teeth to scrape algae off rocks. While I imagine it would be quite difficult to make a meal of this sea urchin, it is still a favorite snack to many, including sea otters and spiny lobsters. It's not every day we find an Atlantic horseshoe crab. These guys have been around for more than 300 million years, making them older than dinosaurs. They look like prehistoric crabs, but are actually more closely related to scorpions and spiders. Their tail is called a telson and is completely harmless. They use the telson to flip themselves over if they happen to be pushed on their backs. Another reason we want our waters clean is because of all the yummy things we eat that live in this water. Take, for example, the Atlantic surf clam. They are filter feeders, which means they suck in water, eating any plankton floating around. Then they spit the water back out. But clams, filtering dirty water, make dirty clams that can be unsafe for us to eat. If the water becomes polluted enough, that area will be completely closed off to shellfishing. Currently, about 25% of coastal shellfishing waters are polluted with bacteria, and most of the coast is now off limits to shellfishing and swimming after heavy rainfall. Runoff, with high nutrient content, typically from too much fertilizer, can result in algae blooms, like we can see here with this red algae called Graciolaria. When all that algae dies, the decaying process, along with all the bacteria that eats that algae, consumes a lot of oxygen. Unfortunately, sometimes this process will consume all the oxygen, leading to massive fish kills. But now we know there are many ways we can prevent stormwater runoff from polluting their home. Check out and share our publication Smart Yards to get more information. For today's activity, we are going to demonstrate stormwater runoff on a paper watershed. A watershed is a region or area that contains smaller bodies of water that all drain into a particular larger body of water. To begin, start out with a piece of printer paper and whatever coloring or art supplies you have on hand. Draw your body of water. Mine represents the estuary, where lots of young little fish like to live and play. I'm drawing some happy fish swimming in the clean water. Next, create your landscape. Make it however you like. I started by drawing a small neighborhood of houses, with a big factory far away that sits right on the river. On the other side of the river, I drew some high skyscrapers that sit downtown. Closer to the water, I drew a little farmhouse filled with lots of farm equipment and farm animals. Crumple up your paper carefully to create natural hills and valleys in your landscape. It's best to do this activity outside, so grab a parent and make sure to protect any surfaces that you're using beforehand. Prop up your paper so that your land is higher than your body of water. We mixed cocoa powder and water together to represent the oil that comes from cars, trucks, and farm equipment, and pet waste from neighborhoods and farms. We used food coloring to represent the chemicals coming from fertilizers and pesticides. Then we rained down on our watershed using a spray bottle filled with water. Watch what happens to all the pollutants. Where will all these pollutants end up? How do you think the fish feel about that dirty water? Would you want to swim in there? How can we prevent this from happening? Let us hear your answers and see what you create. Tag us on social media at NC Coastal Fed. To help maintain clean water for your Touch Tank Tuesday friends, adopt a hermit crab through the North Carolina Coastal Federation. Your donation goes directly to the protection of their coastal water quality and habitats, making these hermit crabs a whole lot happier. Click the link below and get your Proud Parent Certificate today. That's all for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click that bell so you're notified when we upload a new video. And tune into our Facebook page on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. to see what critters we caught and ask us questions. Hope to see you there.